Hey, so this is my new case, the NZXT S340 Elite. It's in white, as you can see, because I'm a massive poser. No, I just really like the white actually over the black. It's nice to have something a bit different once in a while. So this video is going to be about the process of me changing everything over, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, all that sort of stuff. I'm by no means an expert, so you know, take everything I say with a pinch of salt. It's what I've kind of picked up, and you know, I might be a little bit kind of out of date, but I thought I'd just kind of show you the case before anything's built in it. It has a tempered glass like side panel, which obviously is off at the minute and stored very safely, because if that thing breaks, that's pretty costly. The case itself cost me £75. It was on sale. I've needed a case for a while because my other case, which I'll show you as I kind of take the parts out and stuff like that, is pretty old now. It's like 4 years old, and it doesn't have very good, it has okay ventilation, but the fan setup and everything like that is not great, so I wanted something a little bit better. Hopefully this will be. It's also a lot smarter. It's a bit smaller as well because there's no hard drive bays, which is totally fine, because at the end of the day, who uses hard drives anymore? Like, I mean, seriously, who does? No one. Having said that, I know as soon as I do it, it'll be like, hey, install driver from this disk or whatever, and I'll be like, god damn it. But anyway, the only thing I've added in here is two 140mm fans. It comes with two fans as standard, one at the back, one at the top. They are 120mm set to exhaust, so they will suck out all of the hot air from the case. That is created by obviously your components in the case. But the reason why I think they don't put any in the front is because it's kind of ideal for water cooling. So I think a lot of people will probably do like water cooling, stuff like that. I'm not. I'm going for like air cooling. And I've also read very conflicting reports about the airflow of this case as well. So the air from the front comes in at this kind of slot at the top here. There's also one at the bottom. I can't obviously show you that, but some reports have said that it's not great for airflow, like it can struggle a bit, and others have said it's absolutely fine. So I went for two static pressure fans. There's two types of fans you can get. One is high airflow, one is static pressure. Static pressure is better for more confined spaces, so where airflow might not be naturally available, and high airflow ones are where there's, say, like a mesh front, which obviously this doesn't have. So yeah, basically just that's my reasoning. I don't know if that's going to work out well. If anything, it's going to have way better airflow than my other case, that is 100% for sure, because that had two fans, one exhaust and one intake. I mean, having more fans doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a better like airflow, because a lot of other things like count towards it as well, but knowing my other computers, I do, it will have better airflow as well. Down here is like a power supply shroud. These are for your SSDs as well. Motherboard obviously would go there, and it's got really neat like cable management like stuff as well, which is really cool. It's because the nice thing about this is because it's got that like tempered glass like side panel, it will it thinks a lot about cable management and stuff like that to keep everything clean, tidy, so that when you're looking in your PC it looks good. I've never really been one who's been all about the LEDs and the you know, tempered glass, but it's hard nowadays to actually find a case which doesn't have like a glass side panel on it, because they're so popular. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, this will be like a series of short videos put together, I guess, as we go through and have a look at the different things. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hey everybody, so welcome back. So this is the inside of my computer case as it is now, and I'll go through just a few bits. As I take things out as well, I'll do a little video on each of the components as well, just talking about them, just a kind of brief run through, I guess, of what's going on. The case itself is the Corsair 200R carbide. Decent case actually, to be fair, if you're looking for something fairly cheap and you know, plenty of space for everything you want. As I said, the only thing I'm not too happy with is the kind of cooling solutions. I probably could have just got small fans, but I think for me the one fan at the front is a little bit weak, because obviously that's the like CD drive bay there, and you've got your hard drive bay down there, and I think it also, because it's a solid front panel and it's got these meshes on the side which are a little bit gunked up as well, I think it really struggles to get air into the case as well. One fan at the back for exhaust as well. So this is the CPU cooler. It's a Noctua NZXT something like that, I believe. It's an absolute beast of a CPU cooler. To be honest with you, it's complete overkill for my system. It's massive. It's a little bit ugly as well, gotta say. It did the job though, absolutely. God, I think my CPU went above like 30 degrees ever. But I think it also created its own problems in the cases with like airflow, which probably wasn't getting too well to my graphics card and stuff like that, really, because of the size of it. That's my graphics card down there. It's a 1080 Ti by Gigabyte. That little thing there is the capture card, the HD60 Pro, power supply 750 watts, and storage bays. So I've got 3 SSDs and one hard drive, one regular hard drive, which is 2 terabytes as well. So yeah, obviously my job now is to deconnect everything, take everything out and put it into the new case. Yeah. Hey everyone, so welcome back. The case has now been gutted out. As you can see, there's no longer anything inside it apart from the disk drives and the fans that came with it. This is the motherboard you can see here. As I was saying about this Noctua cooler, fantastic cooler, probably one of the best you can get, to be fair. Pretty expensive as well, it's maybe like £70. But the problem with it is that it has a clearance of, so up to this top bit going across, it has a clearance of 160 millimeters, and my new case only allows for 161 millimeters. Now technically it will fit if I fiddled around and jiggled around and did all that malarkey with it. It would have that 1 millimeter gap, but it doesn't really seem like that would either look aesthetically good, probably wouldn't really be too good for it's just not I wouldn't like to have 1 millimeter of clearance, do you know what I mean? So we're going to fit the Hyper 212 Evo in there, which I didn't buy, I just happened to have it. Bought it for another PC which I've now sold a while ago, but as it turned out I didn't really need it because the stock cooler that I had was absolutely adequate for the thing I had. But the 212 Evo is not as good a cooler as the Noctua, certainly a lot smaller, but it is really good. It's also about a third of the price, so if you are after something like an aftermarket cooler for your CPU which isn't going to break the bank, then I recommend the 212 Evo. It's very, very highly recommended. This otherwise is my motherboard, which is the Z170 Pro Gaming Aura by Asus. It's a nice looking motherboard, to be fair. It lights up as well. It's got some LEDs like on the side, which scare the crap out of me every time I well, the first time I installed it, because I didn't know that they would come on when you hooked up the power supply. I thought they'd only come on when you turn the computer on. So I hook it up and suddenly there's this like bright red lights. I'm like, oh my god, what's this? Which are changing colour, you know, like rainbow colours. I'm like, oh my god. But it turned out it was absolutely fine. When installing like a motherboard and stuff like that, the thing I would say that I've learned is make sure you have like the manual for your motherboard, or at least access to the online motherboard, because all these little pins down here, you know, everything's got to be hooked up correctly to them, and and sometimes it can be a lot easier if you have the manual just to check you're doing things correctly there. For those who don't know the kind of way around a motherboard, you have your PCIe express lanes here. These can hold like graphics cards or other peripherals like, I don't know, sound cards if people still have them, or well, my gaming recording card as well. You could have technically 3 graphics cards potentially here if you had a big enough case for it. You've got like SATA connections over this side, these things here. That's where you connect up like your hard drives and stuff like that. You've got your I/O over here, which is what pokes out the back. Underneath this monstrosity is the CPU. I'll show you that briefly once I take this off, which is probably going to be a real pain in the backside, but there you go. Fitting a CPU cooler is it's probably the hardest part to building a PC, and it's not that hard, which I think is testament to the fact that PCs nowadays are just like adult Lego. But it can be a bit of a pain, it can be fiddly, and obviously you're dealing with your CPU, so you don't want to fuck it up, because if you do, that potentially is a £300-400 new CPU you need to get, depending on how much you spend on your CPU. Obviously could be more, could be less, so you don't really want to fuck it up, really. Just underneath that you can see my RAM. I've got 2 8GB sticks. I'd like to get 2 more, but RAM prices right now are so astronomically high that it is just prohibitive of buying. Like I showed or I kind of tweeted out about it, but I checked my invoice when I brought these, and it was like November 2016, so a year ago I brought that RAM, to like DDR4 16GB, 2400 hertz speed, and it cost me, I think it was less than £100, definitely. It was maybe like £85. Now they're going for like 150, 160, the exact same ones. So you can see the price of RAM has gone up astronomically. The reason for that is because the materials they need to make the RAM have gone up in price, so therefore the RAM price has gone up. Hopefully at some point it's going to go down and I'll feel more reasonable about picking up, but I don't really want to spend £150+ to get another 8GB of RAM, 16GB of RAM, when 16 I've got now is absolutely fine for gaming. It would just basically help me out on the production side of things, which I don't do a lot of, so it's kind of more of a luxury than a necessity right now, and I don't want to spend that much on a luxury. Until then guys, we'll catch you in the next video. Hey guys, so I have removed the massive Noctua cooler, as you can see, just shows now, and cleaned off all the thermal paste from the CPU, ready for the new cooler. Just used some of this like Arctic Clean, oh it's my foot, just use some of that thermal Arctic Clean remover. It's pretty cheap, to be honest with you. It does the job. Some cotton buds and a bit of paper towel. It's really quite simple. The Noctua was quite easy to remove. I've still got the back plate on, as you can see. I haven't removed that yet, but obviously I'm going to remove that, and then I'll show you once I get the new CPU on how that looks. You'll see it's a lot smaller. It's still pretty beefy, but it's a lot smaller. With that, you can actually see the RAM now. It was kind of like a little bit covered before. That's fine. It's not really a problem. And overall, I was actually surprised. I was surprised at how much dust is in my CPU cooler. Hang on, let me grab it. So this is it here. You can see, wow, really did not do a good job of cleaning that. That's obviously the exhaust side, but that's the intake side. So I'll give that a good clean before I sell it off. But maintenance is obviously an important part of your PC, so you've got to keep things dust free. I think the problem with that was I was cleaning the fan and then not taking the fan off and cleaning the like heatsink. So let that be a lesson. As I said, I had no problems with thermals on my CPU, so it wasn't really much of an issue, but something to bear in mind. So I'll show you once I have the CPU fitted, the CPU cooler fitted, and then after that I guess I'll put everything in my new case. See you soon. Hey everyone, motherboard is now installed. It might be a little bit dark, might be a bit difficult to see, but motherboard's installed. I've got like power cables connected, I've got like the front I/O connected, all the front these things, what they are is gone for me. We've got an SSD installed here, I've got my hard drive installed in there, and my power supply is installed there. So really all I've got to do now is put the graphics card in, a couple of other bits, and then connect everything else up. Cable management's a bit rough at the minute, obviously it'll all be nice and tidy once I'm done, but so far so good, hopefully. Didn't have any real problems. This case is brilliant for like cable management. There's so many like great little slots and things like that around to just help you out and make it really easy. My last case, it wasn't bad cable management, but it was pretty tough, so yeah, just bear that in mind. The only thing might be a bit tricky is my power supply is fairly long. Can't quite see, let me just turn it around. So fitting all these cables into the power supply is going to be fun. But hey, once it's done, I guess it's done, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, I'll update you probably once everything else is in. See you then. Hey everyone, so pretty much have everything done this side. We've got SSDs all installed now. That's my Elgato capture card. That little thing just above it is the for the LEDs, which are going to go around the edge. However, it's got a Molex connector, and I don't have a Molex to 4-pin or 3-pin like adapter, so I'll have to just pick one up. They're probably really dirt cheap. Graphics card, not happy with this cable from the graphics card, but it's one of those like buggery cables which is not really helping, so I might have to look for like a proprietary, or not proprietary, like some sort of like fancy cable for it or something like that, which gives me a bit more flex, because it's just like very unflexible. Cooler, and obviously like fans, yeah, everything like that. So overall I'm actually pretty happy with it so far. Looks like there's it's weird, the case is smaller, but it feels like there's more space, but it's also like better laid out as well. So far like really happy with it. Obviously once it's on and going, we'll have a little bit of LED because the motherboard and the graphics card do light up a little bit, but I'll be interested to see how it looks with that like tempered glass side panel on as well. So yeah, I guess I've connected everything as far as I'm aware. Bound to be something I haven't done right though. It's probably taken me about 4 hours so far, all in all to do, with a break in between. But once it's done, you know. The other side of this, so around the back with the cables, is an utter mess. So I've got to just try and sort that out. Luckily, the case has some really cool little like clips on the back which hold cables together. It's very good for cable management. This case, I am a total noob at cable management and that type of thing, and it is really good. Yeah, I highly recommend it as a kind of a new build sort of thing. But yeah, so I'll go and next. Hey everybody, so this is it, final build, all running, tested everything. You're probably getting reflection in the glass there, which I apologise for, not much I can do about that though. Had some, not really issues, but I had to kind of configure the fans a little bit. They were like on to full blast the entire way, so once I played around in the BIOS with that and got a configuration that was all good, temperatures seemed to be much better. I said one of the main reasons I wanted to change the case was the GPU temperature. It was hitting like 87 in my old case, which is like, it's not the point of where you're going, oh my god, but it is a point of where you're like, this is a bit high. I was just playing Destiny for about half an hour, and the highest it went to was 72, so we dropped like 15 degrees, and yeah, that's pretty good. As for the CPU temp, pretty much stayed the same, expected it to. It's got a slightly worse cooler on it than the Noctua, but with the better airflow that we're getting from the fans at the front and just from the case in general, I think that kind of evened it out. So all in all, pretty good. I'll probably do one final little video once I get the blue LEDs sorted. But yeah, overall, very, very happy. Everything worked first time, didn't break anything. It's a miracle. Yeah, so thanks a lot. See you soon.